All right, welcome everybody to the opening session of DAO Rush Week. It's great to have you all here. What DAO Rush Week is a showcase of DAOs that are about people, not just money. A lot of people have heard of DAOs in the context of things that are trying to just make as much money for as many people as possible, and that's a thing that DAOs can do. But the point of DAO Rush Week is to showcase DAOs that are doing something else. Some of the DAOs are about making money, and that's totally cool. But during DAO Rush Week, what they do is they highlight the people that are actually involved in their DAOs, the people that are coming together around this new technology and showing what's actually possible when it comes to growing communities around this new technology. So this is the second DAO Rush Week. The first DAO Rush Week was organized by Metacartel. And for the second DAO Rush Week, what we wanted to do was get as many DAOs together to organize this using an organization of DAOs themselves. So we started the DAO Rush Council, which right now has about 10 DAOs in it, and we want to grow it over time to be a place where DAOs can work together to get things done, mainly this DAO Rush Week event on a quarterly basis. But if the needs of DAOs grow over time, if there's more things that we find out that we can do together, the DAO Rush Council can be a place for people to come together, discuss those things, and get them done together. So if your DAO wants to join the DAO Rush Council, we want to talk to you. We want to use this week as a time to reach out to more and more DAOs that are presenting during the week and get them involved. So during this week, there's open house events organized by all sorts of DAOs in the ecosystem. If you haven't seen the calendar link for the DAO Rush Week events, that's on the DAORushweek.com site. If you click events, you should get to this calendar and it'll show you everything that's going on. Some of the individual events have their own RSVP links that'll give the host the ability to send you the Zoom link. It's very hard to share Zoom links publicly without getting trolled by random strangers on the internet. So if you RSVP, then they'll send you the Zoom link and then you'll be able to be a part of that. So RSVP to as many events as interest you by going to events on DAORushweek.com and looking through the events and RSVPing to the ones that interest you. Some of the events are hosted within our Discord. So if you're not part of the DAO Rush Week Discord, we definitely want you to be a part of that. That's basically a place where we can chat during the week about what events are going on, chat with other people who are interested in DAOs, and really be the place that's kind of the central place that events are happening. So some of the DAOs are having their events directly in Discord and video calls on Discord. So that's a place where you'll see a lot of the events as well. So after this event, we want to dive into AirMeet. So that's the second link that you saw in the Discord. AirMeet lets us have smaller conversations. So it's not just me talking at everybody. It's not just these individual DAOs talking at everybody. But if you want to talk to other individuals that are actually interested in DAOs, part of these various communities, if you join the AirMeet after this call, you'll be able to sit down at a table with other people, talk face-to-face in smaller conversations, and get to know people. So we'll be networking in AirMeet until 1 p.m. Eastern. So directly after this call, whenever it ends, we'll dive into AirMeet and keep hanging out there as long as people want. And with that, I'll start to pass it off to the DAOs. So each DAO will have about 3 minutes to present their slide. I'm going to set a timer, and when it starts beeping, I'll kind of unmute myself if you've gone too long. But that's the general gist of it. Once your DAO slide is up here, feel free to unmute yourself and talk about your DAO. So the first DAO is going to be Bloom Network. Do we have Bloom Network here? All right, I'm gonna skip it for now. How about DAO Book Club? Oh, you can't unmute yourself. Okay, so let me change the settings. All right, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Hi.
I'll go back to Bloom.
Are you going back to Bloom? Okay.
Hey there, I'm Magenta from Bloom.
And we are mostly a physical DAO distributed around the world. And we're just learning DAO technology and getting started with implementing the online DAO so that we can formalize how we exchange resources as a community. But we are basically a place-based media company, and we are focused on helping people create acts of regeneration. So helping people do things like teach people restorative justice instead of putting people in prison, teach people permaculture and regenerative agriculture, that kind of thing. Kind of connecting the dots between a bunch of practices that shift society toward more life-nourishing ways of being. Because a lot of those movements are kind of fragmented. So our purpose is really to provide like a glue for people to find out about these things, because they're often like really in the underground, and then implement them more in their neighborhoods and workplaces. So we also do a peer-to-peer incubator to support collaboration across the global network, and then like a corporate innovation consultancy. So it's like a really fascinating project with lots of cool people, and we're really, really stoked to be learning about DAOs. We've been waiting for this tech for literally like a decade to be ready enough for us to implement it. So thank you everyone who's developing in this space. Excited to meet you all. Oh, and our event is on Wednesday at noon Eastern.
Awesome. DAO Book Club.
Hi, everyone. This is Mitch on behalf of DAO Book Club. So DAO Book Club was something that started from the DAO Summoners monthly call, where a bunch of us got together and talked about the common, recent developments in the space, and also common problems that we were facing as DAO community members. So we looked into resources and kind of like books from the past to see how leaders of the past thought about the topic of governance and the guiding principles that they were holding. So we decided to go with the Federalist papers for a start. So the Federalist papers was a series of papers published during in support of the United States Constitution. And so it was written a few hundred years ago, but already we can see some parallels that we are facing today with Web3 governance, because the underlying issue, the underlying problems that we're trying to solve is that of human coordination, which is a timeless thing. So we go through 2 Federalist papers every 2 weeks, and we meet on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. And there's like 80 papers, and we're on 10 so far, so we have quite a ways to go. And for our DAO Rush Week book club, our special edition meetup for DAO Rush Week, we're going to be going over our notes from papers 1 through 10, which is the papers that we've discussed so far, and then we'll share our notes and then discuss what we've read in the context of Web3 governance and the challenges that we're facing. And we've recently formalized the DAO on XDAI chain, so gas costs are a bit cheaper. And basically you can mint yourself a share with every attendance that you make. So our Rush Week event is this coming Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I hope to see you there.
Awesome. DXDAO.
Hi, can you hear me? Hi, guys.
Yes.
This is John Kelleher here to talk about the DXDAO. And so, yeah, the DXDAO, I'll just give a quick history. It was launched over a year ago out of work done by Gnosis and DAOstack together. There was an initial staking period where people earned reputation, which is the governance power in DAOstack DAOs. And there were a few ways people could earn it in the initial staking period: by locking ERC20s, ETH, doing trading on the Dutch exchange, and also by paying with Gen token, which is the native DAOstack token. So after that, it got a little quiet. The DutchX was the initial exchange kind of given to the DXDAO by Gnosis, but then it wasn't used. And then more recently, a few months ago, the DXDAO launched a fundraiser with its own ERC20 token, DXD, and also launched a couple products in that in this recent time span. So one is Omen, a prediction market platform, and the other is Mesa, which is a decentralized exchange. So the focus of DXDAO is on DeFi. The ethos is very much a decentralization maximalist. I think one of the defining features of DXDAO versus other DeFi, governed DeFi platforms is that the governance is illiquid. Rep is non-transferable, and there's actually a separation between, DXD, the financial component, and Rep, the governance component. And then another thing is there's a decent amount of ETH in the treasury now. The slide says 15,000. It's now up to a little over 19,000 Ether in the treasury, and this is done through this continuous token offering based on Fairmint's smart contracts. So it's a bonding curve that it's linear, and it bonds the price to the supply, and it's continuously raising money for the DXDAO treasury. And yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of work to do, and there's actually a big need for, people to do more work and to join the DAO. So if it's interesting to anyone, please feel free to reach out to me. Whatever platform, JPK Cambridge is my handle, or just join the Keybase by going to the site and linking to it. Thanks.
All right, DORG. Anybody around from DORG? All right. Euler Foundation.
Yep. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I'm Serge. I represent Euler Foundation. Now, to understand what we do, I have to give a little bit of history, like 60 seconds worth, about the project that Euler Foundation is based around. It's based around a project called Cyber, which is basically a consensus computer that does different open source projects and decentralized projects. For example, we have already a decentralized open source Google for Web3, of course, and a decentralized version of Twitter. And of course, it's for Web3 and P2P networks. Now, obviously, Cyber has its own chain, its own governance, and its own community pool. But at the point of inception, we realized that we have to separate money from the state. And we decided that we're going to launch a DAO, another DAO, that's going to be run by the community, in charge of the money, and decide where the money goes, and basically be the money and not the state, or whichever way you want to think about it. Now, Cyber is still in test networks, and basically Euro Foundation is basically an experimental DAO. It does have a tiny little treasury, and when I say tiny, it is really tiny. And it's tiny because it's an experimental DAO, but it is launched on Ether's mainnet in Aragon, of course. And the idea is that it's launched by another DAO, so it's a completely decentralized launch. And it has no CEOs, there are no jurisdiction, no fairy tale creatures. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And we have our own applications, which we'll tell a little bit about, and our own on the main event. There is a QR code, and I hope that it works. If not, just join the DAO Rush Discord server, and I will talk about the costs of decentralization and how difficult it is to uphold the D in the DAO. And I hope it works out. See you then.
Awesome. One Hive.
Hey. So yeah, One Hive is exploring new ways to create, organize, and grow communities. That's because communities are awesome, and we love communities. We want to live in a world where there are more communities that can do awesome things. So we're exploring different ways to support that via DAO mechanisms, community currency mechanisms, and really just creating easy ways for people to come together, share ideas, and move forward on those ideas. And so that requires a couple things. It requires having a clear mission. It requires having a way to organize. And right now we're using the conviction voting model, which you can see at onehive.org, which is really cool. You just signal your preferences. And then from there, when people do stuff, they need to be rewarded and recognized for the things they do. So anyone who contributes to the Hive can earn some honey, and honey allows you to vote on future projects and proposals, as well as it has some economic value. It's pretty cool. So yeah, honey's money, it's awesome, but it's money because it represents real value creation. And so we're creating ways for communities to organize, share in value creation, and share in the rewards of that. So yeah, if you want to join us this Friday, 2 p.m. EST, we'll be on the DAO Rush Week server talking all about that. And also, if you'd like to get some honey to participate in voting on future OneHive projects, we have a faucet. So I'll link to it in the chat, but it's faucetonehive.org. You can get some honey, start participating, start voting on projects, start proposing projects of your own, and yeah, join the Hive. It's awesome.
LexDAO.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Niran, for organizing it as always. So LexDAO. LexDAO is a DAO that promotes legal engineering by forging legal legos with solidity. And just to give you a few examples, some of us have been making upgrades to things like Moloch so that the DAO members can have more control, flexibility, and perhaps even efficiency for DAO governance. And then there's also some of us that's been looking at different legal regimes to put a legal wrapper around LexDAO itself. So we're looking at nonprofit co-ops and things like that. Then there are also others that are researching things like NFT space to create NFTs with economic and legal layers. Then there are also others that are building legal engineering apprenticeship, dispute resolution mechanism, even a virtual office in crypto voxels, which we had the pleasure of taking some of you on to take a tour around our office in crypto voxels. And so we're building a lot of things that are related to legal settlement layer on Web3, so that we can slowly integrate Ethereum, hopefully with Web2 and as well as other other layers. So on this Friday, we have an event called Hacking Law at 12 p.m. Eastern time, where we'll go over more in depth on exactly what we've been hacking on since the last DAO Rush Week. And we would love for you all to join us. Thank you.
Next is MachiX.
Hi, everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, cool, thank you. So MachiX, we are a collective of artists and patrons. We curate art and music, or in other words, we tokenize IP assets. The story is that we started this IP tokenization with music, and we've done 59 tracks of Golden Melody Award winning songs. And these are equivalent to like Grammy Awards in the Mandarin Chinese music industry. Later on, we discovered that crypto arts are super interesting and a fantastic way for both crypto and non-crypto community to join, to understand, learn, and join cryptos and blockchain technologies. So this event, we have featuring artists from Marvel DC artist. His name is Sean Chen, and his work includes Wolverine, like X-Men, Spider-Man, Avengers, and Batman, and many more. So we have a few things happening in the coming 2 days. First is the DAO Rush Week open house at 10 a.m. Pacific time at our ComiX Crypto Voxel Puzzle. We also have WIP Work in Progress Asia in a few hours. It's at 11 p.m. Pacific time as well. And tomorrow we'll have Sean to speak us live at the World Shock Discord at 5 p.m. PST. In the past, we also have done one event in June where we sold also numerous of crypto arts in June, and featured artists such as from Lush, Rob Jabez, Parachute, and Joshua Hillman, Super Cybertown. It's very interesting, so please come and join us at MachiX, our Discord, and our gallery links are here on the slide. So that's MachiX. Thank you.
Next is Meta Gamma Delta.
Hey everyone, this is Mia from Meta Gamma Delta. So Meta Gamma Delta, we are an inclusive and empowering society, and we support women-led projects in the space. We were founded this past year at ETH Denver in February, and we had just 3 founding members, and now we're up to about 35 members, and we're growing. So what we do is we focus on connecting and funding women-led projects within the crypto space. We have a weekly call that's every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and one call every first of the month at 1 p.m. Pacific time to accommodate different time zones. Our calls are really fun. We discuss the logistics and news happening within the blockchain. And apart from our calls and projects that we're working on, we also host workshops on a variety of topics. Those workshops are not only open to our members, but they're open to the wider community. So we have a lot of big stuff happening soon, including a fundraising round for women-led initiatives. So whether you're looking for funding for a project, looking to fundraise, or if you're just looking to join a like-minded community, then this may be a good fit for you. And our DAO Rush Week event, it's this Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So come out, come on Zoom and hang out with us. You'll get to meet some of our members and tell us about what you're building and what you're looking to get out of a community like this. So thank you.
Next is Mochi.
Hey everyone, and thank you, Neuron, for organizing. This is Gabriel from Mochi. Mochi, founded in no particular place. We're a decentralized home to all flavors of outsider. Mochi, first and foremost, is a social club of goal-oriented individuals who support each other in the realization of the personal goals. And we use a productivity system that we've developed on Ethereum called Mochi.game. We also collectively pool funds and make investments in projects that we think are interesting, the DeFi and metaverse spaces. So I heard a bunch of people bring up crypto voxels here. We're also big fans of that. Collectively, we believe in a lot of things, but above all, we believe in sticking together, hence the Mochi thing. Our members are digital natives in 11 countries across 3 continents: the USA, Canada, Thailand, Philippines, Spain, France, Germany, Romania, Australia, Ukraine, UK, and beyond. If you've been to any of the ETH global events like DevCon Prague or Osaka, chances are you've been to one of our parties and maybe didn't even know it. We've been mostly private for the past year, but we've welcomed our first batch of new members this past spring. Our fall recruitment period will be starting very soon. So we're opening up a few of our private club events to prospective members so you guys can get a little taste of what Mochi is all about. We're looking to bring in 20 new members this October, and we'd love if a few of them came from the Ethereum space. We prioritize in-network recruiting, so the best way to make first contact with us is to show up to one of our events this week and try to make a friend. So we're hosting 3 events actually. 2 of them are going to be some of our, it's going to be events from our micro clubs. Wall Facers is a weekly group meditation group inspired by Cheech and Lu's Dark Forest and the 3-Body Problem. Any sci-fi nerds here? And then the one on Thursday will be in partnership with Shi-Fi. It's going to be called Classics Albums by Women, where we do a deep listening session of one of our favorite albums from a female artist. And then on Wednesday night, come to our info night to figure out a little bit more about what it takes to become a Mochi member. For those of you who are familiar with more of the proper Greek life, if you were part of a fraternity or sorority in university, we do have a little bit of a pledgeship program, so come on Wednesday night to figure out what that's all about. Thanks for the time. Hope to see you soon this week.
Awesome. Next is the Panvala Caucus, which is presented by me. Panvala is a system that subsidizes our 10 communities the same way that Bitcoin subsidizes its security. We basically want to build a sustainable treasury that the world can share. So what the Panvala Caucus is basically the Panvala's version of Ethereum's core devs. So what we do each quarter is we make recommendations about what Panvala should do that the token holders can accept or reject, just like the core devs say, hey, here's this fork, and the network can accept or reject it. So we want as many people as possible to be part of the Panvala Caucus and be involved in making these recommendations. The Panvala Caucus is the driving force that's got 10 communities into the Panvala League. It's what's gotten us 4x matching for the Panvala League communities last quarter. We basically match the donations that they make on Gitcoin grants using the inflation from Panvala. So the more people that we have governing this shared treasury for the world, then the more kinds of communities that we can plug into it over time. We have an open house tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, where you can learn more about how the Panvala Caucus works, more about what we're trying to do, more about the Panvala League, and how we can plug communities into the system. So that's Panvala, and we hope to see you on Tuesday. Next is the Research Collective. Anybody here from the Research Collective? All right. Next is DeepDAO.
Hi, I'm Eyal, founder of DeepDAO, and it's very cool to be here with so many DAOs that are actually listed on DeepDAO.io. It's like seeing and listening and hearing about some intimate friends that you see in person for the first time, which is really cool. It's how crazy and interesting the world has become. DeepDAO, to anyone who doesn't know yet, is a top dashboard for listing DAOs in terms of several parameters and providing deep analytics about DAOs. If you're not listed on DeepDAO and you want to be listed on our dashboard, please feel free to reach out. Most likely we'll be happy to list you. We're tending to err on the inclusive right now, so if you're a DAO, you're in. Now, the default sort on our site is sort by money, but we took to heart the motto of this event, that it's about people, not just money. So the title of our presentation on Thursday is DAO Governance from the 1970s to Our Times. I'm going to try to show how little changed with DAO type communities from this prehistoric period 50 years ago up until recently. They did not have the word decentralization back then, but they had similar words and similar concepts. So what makes DAOs a DAOs was not invented just a couple of years ago. It was sort of experimented with long time ago. And I'm going to try and show, or at least develop a little bit of a thesis of how DAOs offer a solution for the first time to some of the challenges that were always there for decentralized communities. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you there on Thursday in our event. Thank you.
All right, that was it for the presentations for the opening session of DAO Rush Week. Thanks everyone for presenting, and thanks everyone for coming and hearing about these different DAOs. The main action for DAO Rush Week is these open house events that the different DAOs are throwing during the week. So make sure you check out the event calendar and RSVP to the events, and actually go and meet some of the people in these DAOs. Instead of just hearing about what they're doing, you'll be able to meet some of the people who are actually in these DAOs and understand why they actually keep participating on an ongoing basis. For now, the next thing to do is to dive into the AirMeet. So I'm going to share the AirMeet link in the Zoom chat. And if you want to meet some of the other people face-to-face that are on this call and talk about why you're interested in DAOs, what you're looking for, what your DAO is looking for, that's the time and the place to do it, to have small conversations face-to-face with other people. So I'm going to share that link here, and if you're in the Discord, you already have that link, and we'll hop over to the Air Meet and continue this a little bit more. But thanks everybody for coming, and looking forward to having a great DAO Rush Week. Oh, also, thanks so much to the people who helped make this happen, especially Sky, Nish, Stanford, Yaler, Annette. Thanks for all your help and making this come together, and looking forward to making the week great. Thanks, everybody.